بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أهلا بيكم النهاردة في الكلينيكال انستراكتور المحاضرة التاسعة، الجزء الثاني إن شاء الله من Effective Communication. Objective of this lecture: upon successful end of this lecture إن شاء الله you will be able to define active and effective listening, understand and practice effective listening skills. You will be able to know what is the definition of message feedback and identifying characteristics of effective feedback during communication. طيب، احنا المرة اللي فاتت كنا اخر حاجة اتكلمنا عنها كان اللي هو الموديل of communication، وكنا قلنا البارتس of communication process اللي هي كان السندر والريسيفر والمسج. لو نفتكر كان الريسيفر اللي هو بنقول the receiver needs information to accomplish his or her task. Effectiveness of the team often rests on the members' ability to listen. يعني أهم حاجة في في الكوميونيكيشن بروسيس عند الريسيفر اللي هو الابيليتي تو listen، يعني هو بيسمع المسج اللي جاياله أو إن هو يفهم المعلومة اللي جاياله. هي دي اللي بتكمل عملية الكوميونيكيشن، يعني عملية التواصل ديت من السندر والمسج، وبعد كده الريسيفر اللي هو بيستقبل اهم حاجة بالنسبة له ان هو يستقبل الرسالة دي ويسمعها صح. Unfortunately most people find listening so difficult. فطبعا يعني عملية listening دي ان احنا نسمع during the communication process هي دي اصعب جزئية في communication process. طيب، علشان كده عندنا حاجة اسمها الأكتيف listening skills أو effective listening. طيب، ايه هي الأكتيف listening؟ الأكتيف listening هو process of recognizing, understanding and accurately interpreting communicated message and responding to spoken or non-verbal message. يعني هي عملية الاستقبال، وإن احنا نفهم ونستوعب ونعمل لها interpretation و integration في مخنا كده المسج او whatever البروسيس بتاعت الكوميونيكيشن ديت، وبعد كده نرسبوند للسبوكن او non verbal message بالoptimum response. ان احنا نشوف بقى احنا بعد هنكمل عملية، احنا هنعمل زي دايفرجن كده، وهنبقى احنا السندر بقى بعد كده. بعد ما تبقى انت الريسيفر هتبقى انت السندر وترسبوند للمسج اللي هي جات لك. فاهم حاجة هي فعلا عملية الليسننج، ان انت تسمع الرسالة اللي جاية لك وتتواصل عليها. طيب، steps بقى to effective listening. اول حاجة طبعا ان انت تسمعها hearing, interpretation, evaluation، هتقيم المسج اللي جايه لك ديت وتشوف ايه المطلوب منها، وبعد كده تريسبوند. طيب، the following list some suggests for effective listening. يعني علشان يحصل عملية الeffective listening دي او ان احنا فعلا نتم عملية الكوميونيكيشن بان احنا نبقى good listener. اول حاجة listen openly and with empathy to the other person. يبقى فيه اهتمام منك وانت بتسمع للي قدامك. judge the content not the messenger or the delivery. comprehend before you judge. يعني انت اللي قدامك في عملية الكوميونيكيشن بروسيس ديت انت مش بتحكم على اللي قدامك كشكل او شخصية، لا انت بتحكم على الرسالة نفسها بعد ما تفهمها، مش قبل ما الكلام يتم تكون انت خلاص عملت conclusion على الحاجة من اولها. لا، لازم تسمع وتسمع للاخر وتفهم الكلام مش الشخص اللي قدامك. use multiple techniques to fully comprehend. بمعنى ان انت مش هتسمع بس وتبقى passive listener كده وانت ساكت، لا ده انت ممكن تسأل، تكرر الكلام للي قدامك على اساس تأكد له انت قلت كذا كذا، او ان انت تعمل paraphrasing او rephrasing، ان انت تعيد عليه صياغة الكلام اللي هو قاله بحيث تأكد ان المعلومة دي هو اللي قصده يوصلها لك، بمعنى ان اللي اتقال هو اللي انت فعلا سمعته وفهمته. active body state اللي هي ان احنا في احيانا بيحصل distraction كده واحنا بنسمع حد بيتكلم معانا، مخك يجيب 1000 موضوع تاني غير اللي انت بتسمعه، فانت يحصل لك distraction. فعشان كده لازم تبقى مركز بالاكتف بودي ستيت، انك ما تسرحش يعني. ask the other person for as much details he or she can provide. Paraphrase what the other is saying to make sure you understand it and check for understanding. يعني بمعنى ان انت هو بيقول الحوار زي ما قلنا، فانت بتستخدم تكنيكس مختلفة، انك هتسأله، هتعيد عليه الكلام اللي هو قاله، هتعمل له paraphrasing، وبمعنى ان انت بتشيك عليه ان انت يعني ان انت فهمت فعلا الكلام اللي هو قاله. طيب respond in an interested way that shows you understand the problem. Attend to non-verbal cues, body language, not just words. Listen between the lines. الكلام ده معناه ان انت اللي قدامك انت بتنصت ليه باهتمام، بتبين له ان انت فعلا مهتم بكلامه، بتركز معاه، بتنتبه لكل الحاجات اللي هي البادي لانجوج اللي بيستخدمها الشخص اللي قدامك، بتقرا كلامه اللي بيقوله. اوكي. ask the other for his view or suggestions. يعني انت بعد ما انت كمان عملت rephrasing او paraphrasing للكلام اللي هو قاله، وبتقوله ايه انت رأيك فعلا كده، انت بتأكد عليه ان هو يؤكد ليك المعلومة اللي هو عايز يوصلها لك. state your position openly, be specific not global. don't react to emotional words but interpret their purpose. يعني اللي قدامك بيتكلم بعبارات يعني مؤثرة وعاطفية جاية يعني جامدة جدا، وانت يعني اهم حاجة ان انت مش هترياكت للكلمات، انت هترياكت او لمعناها او الهدف منها. اوكي. practice supportive listening not one way listening. دايما ان انت تحاول انك تتدرب على ان انت تبقى active listener، مش مجرد ان هو passive listening تسمع وخلاص ما فيش اي respond للكلام ده. decide on specific follow up actions and the specific follow up dates.
Welcome, and in this session we're talking about effective listening skills. Effective listening skills are the greatest skill you'll ever learn, because you've got to listen to what your customer wants. What are their needs? What are their desires? What are they actually looking for? So you can only do this by listening to them. There's two ways of listening. One is passive. That's probably what you're doing right now. You've probably got this video on the internet and you're probably looking at your emails and doing other things. But it actually doesn't give you 100% of what you're doing. It doesn't give you 100% of your mind. And you've got to have the attention to use every facet you have. So active listening is what we recommend. You've got to be looking at the person and giving them 100% of your attention. While they're talking, you've got to be encouraging them, saying things like, I see, I totally agree with you. And these are encouraging them to give you more information and encouraging them to tell you what they actually want. You've got to be paraphrasing them and giving them feedback all the way through their conversation. Reflective feelings, showing the emotion that you have for your product and service is also important. And then at the end, you need to summarize to show that you either have the understanding or don't have the understanding for what they actually want. I have 10 tips enabling you to be an effective listener. Tip number 1 is face the speaker. By doing that, you can look at their lips, you can look at their eyes, you can see what they're saying. Tip number 2, maintain eye contact. There's a lot of things you can find out by looking at somebody in their eyes, so maintain that contact throughout. They'll also know that you're interested and paying attention. Tip number 3, minimize external distractions. So if you're meeting in a coffee shop, make sure you sit away from the coffee machine or away from the entrance so people are butting in all the time. So move away, get yourself into a place where you can actually have a conversation. Tip number 4, respond appropriately throughout the conversation, showing them that you're interested and you would want to find out more. Tip number 5, focus entirely on what the speaker is saying. This means all the other things that are going on around you are just trivial. They're not important. If a lorry goes past or somebody knocks the table, just ignore it. Just focus on the speaker. Tip number 6, minimize internal distractions. This is all about what did you have for breakfast, how are you getting home, what are you doing this evening. All these things are trivial, they're not part of the now, so therefore just ignore them. Tip number 7 is all about body language. What are they actually saying non-verbally through their body language? Try and understand this and see whether they're saying yes verbally but no through their body language. This will allow you to understand what they really want to get out of the conversation. Tip number 8 is about you avoiding letting them know that you've already solved the problem. This is because you need to work with them, you need to build a relationship with them, and this relationship building is all about being equals, about moving forward together. So avoid saying, oh, we've already sorted this out, because it just belittles them and it doesn't allow you to build a stronger relationship. Tip number 9 is all about complaints. They're going to come back to you and they're going to say this, they're going to say that. You've got to let them have their say. And then finally, you can come back with a rebuttal, an intelligent solution to the problem. Tip number 10 is all about engaging yourself, controlling yourself, focusing on what you're doing and what you want to get out of this meeting. Listening is a key skill and you need to ensure that you're focused on it.
طيب، ايه الباد listening habits؟ bad listening habits يعني انت بتحصل منك مواقف during conversation او during communication process ديت بتؤدي لان لغة الحوار او التواصل بينك وبين الشخص التاني او المجموعة اللي قدامك بيحصل فيها مشكلة. ايه الباد listening habits؟ اللي هي اول حاجة criticize، ان اللي قدامك بيتكلم وانت على طول ترفع ايدك تنتقد، ترفع ايدك مش عاجبك الحوار، مش عاجبك اسلوبه، مش عاجبك الفكر اللي هو بيقوله، مش مقتنع، لا اشرح لي اكتر، على طول في كريتيسيزم شغال منك. diagnose what was said، دايما قبل ما الموضوع يخلص تروح انت متكلم وتقول ده علشان كذا وكذا وكذا، بتشرح الكلام. طب ما تستنى اما في الاخر يحصل conclusion ونبتدي نرسبوند بالطريقة الصحيحة. jump to conclusion يعني هو واحد لسه بيشرح بيقول احنا عايزين نعمل كذا او project كذا او كلام، صح ده هيحصل كذا وكذا وكذا، او هتاخد decision خلاص انا هعمل كذا. طب ما احنا نستنى نشوف الرول بلاي اللي احنا هنعمله او توزيع الادوار بتاعتنا give solutions quickly. change to the subject يعني انت مثلا حد بيحكي لك حاجة فانت بدل ما انت بتسمعه باهتمام لا رحت قلبت الموضوع اتكلمت في حاجة تانية. remember that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. دايما يعني هو المفروض ان احنا بنسمع اكتر ما بنتكلم. the wiser the person the less they speak and more they listen. يعني الإنسان يعني أكثر حكمة هو اللي يسمع أكتر ما بيتكلم. ودي طبعا يعني عندنا احنا بالعربي في نقول يعني إذا كان الكلام من فضة فالسكوت من ذهب. عندنا احنا كذا حاجة بتقول الكلام دوت. أوكي.
Hi, I'm Trevor Crow, and welcome to the Modern Relationship Channel. Today we're going to talk about listening. A lot of us don't really have a good skill set for listening, and when we listen badly, we don't make our friend or our family member feel very good. So let's start with some bad listening, just so you can see what it looks like.
You know my sister-in-law. You know how I'm just so frustrated right now because when I call her, it's all about her. It's not about, she doesn't pay any attention to anything I'm doing. She never asks about how my meeting went or how this went, or, I'm doing a lot of new stuff. And she's just not caring. All she cares about are her kids. And it's not fair. I just don't think it's fair. And it's really annoying to me. And I don't know what to do. I'm really just...
I don't understand what the problem is here. Like, you're calling her, you're getting through to her, but you're not connecting. Like, what like, I don't
because
understand what
every time I
is.
call her, she's just talking about her stuff and her kids. She's not paying attention to what I'm saying.
I know, but she has, like, little kids right now. Like, maybe
I get that, but it's not always the only thing that's going on in the world. There are other people in this world too.
I know, but when you have little kids, it's just so overwhelming. I think you're probably putting too much emphasis on this.
You know what? That's just not helpful. That's not what's going on, and it's very frustrating. I'm finding all of this very frustrating right now.
Well, I don't know why, because that's just how she is, and I don't know what the big deal is. I just think that
Hello, I'm over here. You're not even paying attention to me.
I am. I'm listening to you.
You're not looking at me. You can't be listening to me if you're looking at your phone.
I never met a woman that can't multitask. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were so talented.
So that was an example of poor listening. Kit was trying to talk about her frustration and how difficult it is to talk to her sister-in-law, and Gail really wasn't taking it in, and she really wasn't listening in a way that had compassion and sort of the felt sense of understanding how frustrated and maybe hurt that Kit's feeling. And furthermore, she picked up her phone and she didn't pay attention and she interrupted. So there's a whole bunch of sort of not good habits to have when you're trying to be a good listener. So let's look at what a good listener does.
My sister-in-law, and I'm just so frustrated right now. It's really, she's my closest friend in so many ways, and I call her, and all she does is talk about her kids, to the point where I don't even get to get a word in, because I call her to maybe say something that's good in my life, that's happening, that I'm excited about, that's new, and it becomes just about her children and what they did and what they're doing and what they're planning and it's really not fair, and I'm just feeling very alone and very lost with it. I don't know what to do.
I'm so sorry. I know her for so long, obviously. Maybe we could figure out a way to kind of brainstorm and see how you might get yourselves in a different situation. Or I feel badly for you. I'm sorry.
It's so nice that you say that, because that feels really good, and I could really use the help. I'm getting frustrated with it, and it's not helping to make the situation any better.
But you're so well-intended, and I know that you just want to have great relationships. So maybe we could think of something together if we put our heads together.
Oh, that would be so good.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Sure.
That was a beautiful example of good listening. Gail really sort of focused and was present. She felt, and you could feel her understand how frustrated that Kit had gotten and how hurtful it was. And you could tell that Kit felt better too. She was heard, she was seen, she felt important to Gail. So that was beautifully done. Also, Gail asked permission before she tried to jump in and solve the problem. She said, "Can we roll our sleeves up together? Would that be okay?" So these are some of the really important skill sets of good listening. It's being fully present. Put your phone down. Don't jump in and solve the problem. Really listen to your friend, family member, even coworker, and say, "I understand. I'm here with you. I'm listening and I'm present, and I feel that you're having a tough time with this." So ultimately, that's what we're all looking for in the end, is to be heard, to be seen, to be feeling like we're important to that other person. So go out there, be good listeners. We can show up for each other in a really good way. And thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe.
طيب مسج فيدباك. الفيدباك بقى ده حاجة مهمة جدا 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 بالنسبة لنا، وبتكمل ليا الموديل of communication. بنقول effective receiver verify their understanding of the message with the sender. انت بتأكد ان احنا فعلا فهمنا او تم تحقيق الكوميونيكيشن بروسيس ديت عن طريق الاندرستاندينج بتاعك من المسج اللي وصلتك من السندر. تمام. طيب they consider words, tone and body language when they give feedback. انت دلوقتي الريسيفر وبتتلقى مسج من السندر، وعشان يتم او فعلا نفهم ان الكوميونيكيشن بروسيس دي تمت صح، عندي حاجة اسمها المسج فيدباك. طيب عشان اتأكد ايه هي الساينز او العلامات اللي تؤكد ان انا حصل فعلا apprehension او سوري مش apprehension comprehension للمسج ديت وان هي فعلا وصلت، عندي form of feedback للمسج ديت عبارة عن 3 حاجات. اول حاجة ال acknowledgement، parroting و paraphrasing.